welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing something very exciting for 2016. If you are into books and reading, this video will definitely excite you. I am talking about the 2016 Reading Challenge. I came across this challenge thanks to a friend on Facebook who found it on a school page on Facebook who found it on the Modern Mrs. Darcy blog. I will leave the Modern Mrs. Darcy blog post about the challenge down below so you can see where this originated from. This challenge is meant to last all year long. There are 12 categories, one for each month, and you can choose one book in each category or a whole bunch of books in each category, which is kind of what I did for a few of them. I've already finished 2 categories. Woo! It's not even February yet. Doing great. I have some ideas for each category. Let me read them off to you real quick. The first category is Publish This Year, which is 2016. 2 books I'm interested in are Land of Silence by Tessa Afshar and A Spy's Devotion by Melanie Dickerson. The next category is Finish in a Day. I already finished this category. I read The Wonderful Wizard of Oz for the very first time. This beautiful collectible edition was a gift from my best friend Gabby. I loved the movie as a little girl, but I think I overwatched it, so these days I'm not so into watching The Wizard of Oz. I wasn't sure about the book, but I actually really loved it. The next category is Meaning to Read. That's like every book in the world for me, but the books that I really want to read, and there are multiple. The first one that is a must is Zoo by Michael Ledwidge and James Patterson. If you watched my 2015 favorites video, you know that that was one of my favorite TV shows in 2015. Yes, there was a TV show and it was amazing and addicting. I really want to read the book because I know that James Patterson is an amazing author and I've never read any of his books. So since I loved the show, I feel like I'm really going to love the book. Another one is The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings books by J.R.R. Tolkien. I've owned these books for more than a year and I have not read them. I've seen all the movies. I know I'm gonna love the books. It needs to happen and it's going to happen. The next category is recommended by a bookseller or librarian. I have 2 things in mind for this category. The first one is when I was little, I was recommended the Series of Unfortunate Events by my local librarian. And I read the whole series back then, and my mom recently bought me the entire series because I never owned it. I only checked it out from the library. So I have the whole series now, and I really want to read through. The next book on the list is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. My local bookstore is Barnes & Noble, so I looked on their recommended reading list online and The Girl on the Train was on there and I've been wanting to read that anyways. Next category is Should Have Read in School. I picked Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ by Lou Wallace. The movie with Charlton Heston is one of my favorite movies and I actually read an excerpt of this book for literature, but I never read the entire book, so I really want to read the whole thing. Fun fact, some of the books in these categories, such as Ben-Hur, these are books that are known as public domain, so you can find them for free on places such as Amazon. Next category is chosen by spouse, partner, sibling, child, or BFF. Basically, you have to ask someone close to you to pick a book. I didn't have to ask anyone because I'm in the middle of the Mark of the Lion series by Francine Rivers. Not really in the middle. I finished the first 2 books and I have to read the last book. My best friend pestered me for years to read this series, and it's not that I didn't want to. I had so many books to read and I just never got to it, and once I did not regret it. Reading the first 2 books was genuinely life-changing for me. So I'm really excited to finish the series and see how it ends. The next category is Published Before You Were Born. I picked Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote. The same friend that posted about this challenge on Facebook told me about this book. I had no idea there was a book out there. I'm a reader, I should know these things, but I didn't, so I'm really excited to read this book. The next category is Banned at Some Point. I chose Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. First of all, because it's a classic that I have never read, and second of all, it was banned in China. That counts, right? It doesn't have to be banned in the US. Previously abandoned, I chose the Elixir series by Hilary Duff. I didn't abandon this because I didn't want to finish it. I loved the first book, which was Elixir. I just got distracted by other books and I never finished it. It could have been because at the time I didn't own the whole series. It can be like pulling teeth to find the rest of the series in the library, so I think that I gave up temporarily because of that. But now I own the whole series and it is at my disposal 24/7. I'm doing this because my bookshelf's right there. Own but never read. The truth is, most of the books I chose for this challenge could fit into this category because I took this challenge as an opportunity to read books that I have not read before. But I had to spread them out, obviously. So the book I chose for this category is First Light by Bodie and Brock Taney. Intimidates You. This is actually the book that I'm reading right now. I chose Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I don't know why Jane Austen intimidates me. Well, I guess classic literature in general intimidates me because even though I love to read, I don't read like classic or super intelligent books. So I think I kind of doubt myself in what I can read and understand. The first time I tried to read Pride and Prejudice years ago, I had a really hard time reading the language that Jane Austen used. But this time around, I'm not having any trouble. I feel like it just has to do with maturity. Maybe I wasn't ready back then, and now I am ready. Already read at least once. This is the 12th and final category. I picked a series, Sisters of the Quilt by Cindy Woodsmall. I love this series. I've already finished all 3 of them. Cindy was really brave. She handled rape and how it's dealt with within the Amish community. This series is so bold. It's not sugar-coated. It's an uncomfortable subject, and yet you can't stop reading it because the way it's dealt with, it keeps you engaged. It is such a beautiful series. I highly, highly recommend it. I will be giving you updates every so often on what books I'm reading. Feel free to leave comments down below and tell me if you are going to join the 2016 reading challenge. Tell me what you're reading. I want to know. Not that I need to add anything new to my reading list, but you know, for the future. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to receive notifications every time I upload a new video. I will see you in my next video. Bye!